Hi, everybody. This is Brenda Mullard, and I'm here interviewing Robert Hollis Jr. Robert, I just want to thank you for taking the time to meet with me and do this interview. I know how busy you are, and I really just want to say I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be doing this interview with you. And, I know I do get busy, but I love their term out there that, from Jim Rohn, work where you deserve, not where you're needed. And you definitely deserve some of my time to do this interview. You're an amazing leader and really leading by example with the UP family right now. So when you asked me to do an interview, I was all over it. I've been looking forward all day to this.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks. So I know that you've got quite a story. Could you please tell us a little bit about your story and kind of where you've come from and where you are now with Unlimited Profits and Success in Minutes and what it's done for you and things?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very quickly, my background is, I dropped out of high school my freshman year to try to become a professional skater. Yeah, I always had a father that kind of thought outside the box, and he said, "Listen, I'll support you if you want to follow your dreams, but I'm not going to support you financially." And so, I decided, hey, everybody knows when you're young, I knew best, so I figured I'd drop out of high school my freshman year, and of course, skating didn't pay the bills. Go figure, right? And unfortunately, the people I hung around with influenced me to do illegal things to make money, and I'm not proud of it, but it is part of my life, and I got caught up in that as well. I actually ended up going to jail a couple times, and the last time that I came out of jail, I just said, enough is enough. I did realize that in order for things to change, I had to change, and I drew a line in the sand, and I came back to my father humbly saying, listen, I'm ready to listen to you, I'm ready to learn. I actually flew a one-way plane ticket from Southern Cali, California to Laurel, Montana. They have 2 stoplights in the whole city. And took a one-way plane ticket out there because my father was going to teach me how to be this big network marketer. And of course, and I always like sharing this part of my story because a lot of people just see the, the rags to riches. But my first year, I struggled a lot. I really didn't make that much money. I think I made like maybe $6,000 to $7,000 my first year, and it was because I'm sorry, it was because I had a lot to work on up here. I had a lot of stinking thinking. I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I was very negative, and blamed everybody else but me for my situation, and I had to, I think, grow personally before I was actually ready to grow financially in network marketing. So since the training has absolutely changed my life, I've traveled around the world speaking in front of thousands of people, made over $1 million and retired at the age of 30 in Newport Beach, right on the ocean, on the water. So this training and the system has just turned my life around completely. I know, now using it to go online and now teach other people like yourself, Brenda. I don't think we would have known each other if it wasn't for the internet and people reaching out to you and introducing us to each other. So I think it's just such a powerful tool.
Oh, I would agree. I think Facebook is a wonderful tool to use to meet people and get going with networking and that kind of stuff. So I totally agree with you. So you've had to build your own business, which is pretty interesting coming from your dad, which is Robert Hollis, and I'm sure you get quite a bit of people saying, oh, well, it must be nice that your dad's a millionaire and he handed you the business, but he didn't really do that. You had to build your own. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about the strengths that you found that you've had over the amount of time that you've had to build your own business and what you've figured out through that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I had to grow as, and it's funny because I guess there's 2 sides of the sword when people say, oh, you must be lucky because your father's this crazy mentor and all these things. Yes, I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to have such an amazing father, but on the other side of the coin, I have very, very big shoes to fill. So, I know a lot of people out there that are getting mentored by my father right now. If you don't hit your goals or don't do what you say you were going to do, it's okay. But now all of a sudden, if I'm working directly with my dad and I said, hey, I'm going to step up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to take over these things, well, there's a lot of people watching me. So, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say pressure, just big shoes to still, carrying the Hollis name. And on this, flip side of that too, I know that, that was a huge, huge chip on my shoulder when I was younger. Because I did had a lot of people look at me going, oh, well, you're just junior, so of course you're successful, and oh, I bet he built the business. And, I realized after some time of growing in this profession that, people that just make excuses for everything. So if I wasn't junior, it would have been because I was there in the beginning or whatever it is. And I really used to have this big chip on my shoulder, purposely try to present that I'm my own leader. I don't need my dad. And that was 7, 8 years ago when I felt like that. And then I just came to a point where I really just didn't care at all. What I care about is, people like Brenda that, she asked, if you ask her if my father built the business, she's going to say no. He's been there to help me. He's shown the, he helped me personally. So I really could care less what everybody else says as long as the people I work with respect me and know that I put in a lot of hard work.
For sure. And it does take a lot of hard work. Through working the business, as you know, that you have off days. Everybody has off days or days that are a little bit rougher. How would you suggest people, when they hit those rough patches, how would you suggest that they get through it or deal with that time that it just doesn't seem like things are working or not going fast enough, or those rough patches?
Yeah, I would say it's different for everybody, but one thing I strongly suggest for people is that, the first part of it is writing down your why, getting your clear, specific goals on why you want to do this business. And I mean, they've got to be specific, and a lot of people say, well, I just want to make a lot of money. No, that doesn't work. How much money do you need for what, and what are you going to spend it on? Well, I want to buy my mom a home. Great, why? But how big's the home going to be? Where's the home going to be at? Is it going to be close to you so you can visit her? Or is it going to be big enough for other family to stay with her? Would you like it to be on the beach because she loves seeing the ocean? Or would you like it in the mountains or out of the city because she likes it calm? So, to get those clear, defined goals and whys. And the second part is really tying them down to emotion, and it's different for everybody, but I believe meditation is huge, and meditation can be different for everybody. If you're just sitting and focusing on your why, or what I do a lot of times is I like to go skate still, and I do it more for exercise, for distance. So what I do is I put in music that just pumps me up, music that inspires me, music that gets my blood flowing while I'm skating. It's usually upbeat, exciting music. And I mentally visualize and meditate on what my future is going to be like, to the point where, you can taste it, you can feel it, you're excited, you almost want to cry, you almost want to start laughing. And you visualize on that, because all of a sudden when you're done working on that and you go back, it's like, oh my gosh, all the people that told me no, all the people that laughed at me, the people that were rude, you completely forget about that because you're so fixated on the future. You can't dwell on the present on those things, and that's what really helps me. And you're right, Brenda. Everybody has bad days. I have bad days, and I know my father does. And I just got really good at practicing meditation, whether it's at night before you go to bed, or morning, or like I say, it's almost like a visual meditation where I. If you guys could see my head, it's almost like a music video on MTV, where the music's going and the clips are going fast, and then, there's a scene of me and my beautiful fiance and my son, on the beach in some exotic island, and the next scene is, all of us and me and Brenda on stage, screaming with thousands of people, and then the next scene is, us in the mountains with, our cabin up there, and, that's what, because you can, I can already see you smiling as I'm going through this, is that just puts me in such a state of excitement and enthusiasm that it really doesn't care, it really doesn't matter what's happening to me that day. I'm good at getting myself back in the vision mode.
Right. I totally agree. That's awesome. So as I've been working the business, I know that, we hear it's a numbers game, it's a numbers game, it's a numbers game, and it's all about sorting. When people first begin this business, I don't think we all have a real good sense of how many people that you introduce Success in Minutes to, and so could you explain a little bit about the sorting game and about really the numbers that it takes to be successful in the business?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will refer, but once again, back to Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said it the best, that when he first started network marketing, that he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. He didn't have good communication skills. He didn't know that many people. So even though he wasn't as good as the next guy, he knew that he would out-earn him. And he said, because I just knew that, if I talked to 10 people and all 10 told, or 9 out of 10 told me no, that means I got one new guest to show up to the meeting. I got one new lead in my back office. That would just mean that I would have to talk to 10 times more people than Brenda. And it is really hard for people to hear that, because a human's #1 fear is rejection. People would rather die than people are less afraid of dying than they are of getting rejection. A lot of people say it's public speaking, and all public speaking is rejection on a massive scale. So, when we tell people, listen, the only way to become successful is you have to have objection. And that right there is where, I would say 50%, if not more, people just shut down to say, you know what, I'd rather just be broke and unhappy. And it's sad to say that it's true. Now, of course, understand that in the beginning it's just sorting, but you're sharpening your axe. See, George Washington said it the best. If you gave me an axe and you told me I had to cut down a tree, I would spend 90% of my time sharpening the axe and 10% swinging. And very simply what that means is, as you're sorting and as you're getting the no's, maybe you only get 1 out of 10 people that say yes, and they'll look at the company overview. Well, even if you got to 3 out of 10, now you're getting good. In my opinion, if you can get 3 people out of 10 to say yes, you're an expert. Just like in baseball, if you step up to the plate and hit the ball 3 times out of 10, that means your batting average is a 300, and you now make millions of dollars being a baseball player. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can get 3 out of 10 people to say, yes, I'm interested in making extra money, yes, I'll take a look at what you're doing, you will become a multimillionaire. I promise you. And and closing on that, just to show you guys how powerful the numbers are, is I always love telling this story. There's a guy named Nick that was up on stage at a big event one time, and that he said when he was 17 years old, 17, he saw my father speaking on stage. And he just got so inspired that he said, you know what, screw going to college and screw getting a job. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. And somehow he was able to walk up to my father at the end of the overview. And he said, listen, man, tell me what the secret is. I'll do anything you tell me to do. Just tell me the secret. And my father, well, of course, the kid probably wasn't listening that well. He just got done training people on probably what it was to do to become successful. And he goes, listen, man, come here. You want to know the real secret? And he's like, yeah, anything. And he goes, you get 10,000 people to tell you no, and you'll never have to worry about money again the rest of your life. Now, this 17-year-old kid said he was so naive and so starry-eyed that he honestly 100% believed a multimillionaire just told him what the real secret is to becoming a millionaire. So he said that he would show up to meetings and everybody going, hey, how you doing? Man, I'm doing awesome. I had such a great week this week. Everything's going great. Really? Well, how many people do you have coming to the meeting tonight? Oh, none. Oh, well, how many people did you sign up this week? None. Well, I don't get it. You said it was a great week. It is. I got 50 people to tell me no this week. That means 9,950 left, and I'm going to be a millionaire. It was such a great week. And, everybody laughed when he said that. And on stage, he goes, now, I lost track around 2,500 of 3,000, of people that told me no. I don't think I'm even close to 10,000 yet. But I made $350,000 last month.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it is just a numbers game, but understand you'll get better at it. And I think that also it being an internet marketing company, people use that as a crutch sometimes. That now all they're doing is going after cold market people, trying to make new contacts, which then your numbers are not even as good. You know, once you start getting comfortable where you're making money and now you're starting to talk to your friends, you're starting to talk to your family that do need to make extra money or do need to grow as a person and listen to some personal development, you know, of course your numbers are going to go way, way up. But I don't know why people just feel, since we are on the internet, that that's all they should do is just focus on the internet and cold market.
Right, right. So with that being said, the mindset for this business has to be in the right spot. Because if you don't have the right mindset, as you know, you will not be successful. No matter what you say, no matter what you try to do, if your mindset's not right, you're going to fail. It's inevitable. So can you explain a little bit about mindset and how important that is for you, especially with your success, and how you found it to play a part in what you do?
Absolutely. You know, and there's a couple of different ways to explain this. Is in the first one, I would just say is that mindset of a fighter. You know, the mindset of fight or flight, that, you know, you're going to make it happen no matter what. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're ready to defend your life. You're ready to put it all on the line. And that's where I see when people have massive success. That's their mentality. You know, my father, one of the first times he spoke at a big event called Go Pro with Eric Worre, that he was on what they call as a millionaires panel discussion. There was like 6 people up there, my father included. Well, if everybody knows my father's story, that, you know, he lost everything, he went to jail, you know, lost everything, was hiding the car from the repo man, and that's when he decided to become an entrepreneur. The gentleman sitting next to him became a drug addict, lost everything that he had, lost all of his friends, his family, and was recovering from drugs before he decided to be an entrepreneur. The gentleman next to him went to jail. The gentleman next to him lost everything that he owned. He said that he was telling a story that, you know, his family, all he had left was his cell phone, because he knew he needed a cell phone to build his business, and they put everything they could in the truck they owned, and the repo man was looking for their truck, so him and his 2 daughters and his wife are living out of his truck. And Eric Worre stands up on stage and goes, "Listen, guys, I just need to do a quick disclaimer. You don't have to lose everything you own, go to jail, or be a drug addict to be a multimillionaire in network marketing. I just want to clarify that." Now, why is it normally those situations? Is because those are the people that just had enough is enough, and you better get out of the way because they're fighters. And a lot of people are just comfortable. You know, they're okay if they don't get this done. They're living paycheck to paycheck, but hey, so's everybody else. You know, I hate my job, but at least I got one. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs, but so is everybody else. They just haven't got to a place in their life where they're enough is enough and they're ready to draw a line in the sand. Now, with that said, that's also what you know, Unlimited Profits and in Success in Minutes is designed to do. You know, when you start going through that pro mentorship and starting to get the awareness and starting to think like an entrepreneur and get the motivation and desire, because there is a lot of people out there that do want better, but they just don't know why they're not doing it. And we really help people out with that as well. But, you know, I think the mindset of an entrepreneur, and the more you look at successful entrepreneurs, is, you know, and I love Shark Tank, you know, because, you know, it's one of the only TV shows that I watch. And, I mean, every single one of them, when they're being interviewed by the sharks, you can hear them, "You know what? I love your resilient attitude, that you're hitting the street, that you're going to make it happen, that you're hustling, you're grinding it out every single day, and I'm going to invest in you." And then you see other people that go, "You know, I love your idea, I love your company. You know what, Brenda, I like you as well. You just don't think I don't feel like you're hungry enough. You're not putting everything you got into this, and I think you could be successful, but you're not ready yet as an entrepreneur, so I'm not ready to invest." And it's seriously the one thing, the difference of them getting investment or not is how hard and how serious they are in putting everything they have into the business.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because it's easy to make a couple $100. It's easy to make $500, $1,000. But if you want to start making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, you're going to need to have an attitude of, I always love the best twos. Like if you've ever seen the movie 300, and it's 300 guys against a whole army, and they don't even look back. It's like, hoo-ah, hoo-ah. Like that's what I feel like as an entrepreneur sometimes. It's you against the world, and it's fight or flight. You're either going to make it happen or going to make excuses.
Right. Nobody's got time for excuses.
Right.
So you're relatively a new dad. Congratulations.
Thank
I know
you.
Robert talks so highly of Ryder and your whole family, which is so cool. I just love to see that. So how have you found time to balance being a family man and your business, which is booming? How do you find balance between, having both?
Great question, and it is tough to balance, but also understand that when you end up, if you want to be an entrepreneur and work with like Unlimited Profits or any other network marketing company for that matter, when you get to the income level that you are happy with, you're your own boss. So yet, I don't get to see my son as much as I'd like to just because the company's booming right now and we're growing so fast. But guess what? I get to wake up with him every morning. I eat breakfast and lunch and dinner with him. I always have a slotted time out when we're done with this interview, before the pro show tonight. I go and I help him with his bath. And I'm there when he goes to bed, and I call him my winner, my champion, he's destined for greatness, So, and that's the other great thing about it too, is that I can shut off everything and spend a couple hours with him, and as soon as he goes to bed, I'm able to stay up till 10, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning growing my business. So, it is a balance, but understand when you are your own entrepreneur, and I think of it the other way, think of other people that aren't entrepreneurs. So, my son right now, he goes to bed at like, 6 o'clock, like 6:37 is the time when he lays down for bed. 6 o'clock every night, we give him a bath. So, okay, so I wake up in the morning and I rush to hurry up to get a shower, to get him dressed, feed him, and then immediately rush him to the daycare. So then you spend all day at your work, and then you rush home fast enough to grab him, to feed him, put him in his bath, and then put him down for bed again. So what? If I wasn't an entrepreneur, I'd maybe, if I was lucky, get an hour or two a day with him. So, yeah, I was there the first time he smiled. I was there the first time he rolled over. I was there the first time he crawled. I was doing a meeting the other day, and all of a sudden I was like, my phone was blowing up. Bzz, bzz, text. Robert, you got to get in here. You got to get in here. So as soon as I was done for a meeting, I'm like, what's going on? Well, do you see those little things that they have for kids, the walkers? He's got it, and he's walking around the kitchen, like Daddy's here, woo! So I don't miss that stuff, you know what I mean? And once you really sacrifice, and all of a sudden where I'm making residual income of $20,000, $30,000 a month, then I'm gonna instead of slotting out Ryder time, then it's gonna be slotting out Ryder days, where it's like, hey, listen, can you do an interview with me on Sunday? Listen, better. Sunday's Ryder's Day. Oh, okay, sorry. You know what I mean? Or, whatever it is. So the more that, we get the company up and running, just the more and more time I'll be able to spend with him and my fiance. But it's also on two sides of the coin. It's also why I'm working harder now, is because of him.
Right.
Yeah, because I want to go travel the world with him. I want him to, I never want him to even think about money. Money should never be an issue with my son, where if he wants to go somewhere, if he wants to do something, that should never be a thought in his mind that, oh, I don't know if I can go on the field trip, or, oh, I don't know if I can do this because we don't have enough money. I'm not going to spoil him, obviously, but, I always remember that being young is, oh my gosh, we just bought you a new pair of shoes at the beginning of the year. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's like, my gosh, everybody's making fun of me because my shoes have holes in them. Well, hey, school season's almost over. We're getting a new pair next year. And I knew growing up, that, hey, we didn't have a lot of money. You got what you got, and be happy with it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. Totally know. So, Success in Minutes, I know what it's done for me in a very short amount of time. I just started a few minutes ago, and I'm already really rolling and feel like I'm really doing well and moving faster and farther than I've done with anything else I've done before. And I am going to post a link at the bottom of this so that people can check it out and see what I'm doing. But could you explain or describe why people should plug into Unlimited Profits and Success in Minutes?
Absolutely. Well, first off, if anybody's watching this and you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to understand that it's very, very important to have not only a coach but a mentor and a documented way to become successful. See, it's funny because everything else in life, people have mentors and coaches. You know, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, all had mentors and coaches. Donald Trump, Bill Gates have mentors and coaches. So why do you believe you shouldn't have a mentor and a coach to become successful? Not only that, but teaching you word for word, step by step on exactly what to do to become successful. See, the biggest reason, honestly, there's only two reasons why you can become successful as an entrepreneur. One is you didn't have a mentor and a coach and nobody taught you what to do, the right way to do it. Or two, you just didn't get off your butt and go to work. Now, it's funny when you give those options to people, 99% of the time they're going, oh, well, I was never taught properly how to do it. But I also agree that's usually correct. You know, in network marketing, you were brought in from a friend, that was brought in by a coworker, that was brought in by a relative that lives in Texas, and none of you know what you're doing. You were taught, buy product, go out there and sell it, and when people shoot you down because you're not a salesperson and people don't like to be sold, now you've got a trunk, a closet, a garage full of product, and you never made any money. So we teach people exactly what to do to become entrepreneurs. My father's taught 45 people how to make over $1 million in 1 year in network marketing, so his system's not on trial, his training's not on trial. So not only that, but just like we talked about before, is that now all of a sudden starting to go through mentorship. In order for things to change, you have to change. You have to realize that if your 2014 wasn't the way you wanted it to be, if your success in your entrepreneur adventure wasn't what you wanted it to be, that you need to start growing as a person. You need to start working on yourself, as the most valuable thing that you can invest in is yourself. And that's what we offer to people, the mentorship and training, and allowing people to use that, to now use the internet to have people come to you that want to work with you. I was so tired in offline and traditional business where you're consistently always chasing people down and, consistently begging people to show up to your meetings or buy your products, where, there's billions of people out there, billions of people on, the internet. You shouldn't have to beg anybody to do your business, and we'll teach you how to go out and find people that want to work with you instead of you chasing people down.
And that's so true. I have found that in the short amount of time that I've been involved, that I have never wanted or needed or looked for help and couldn't find it. There's always somebody within this group or this family, really, that has been able to help me with whatever questions I had or things that I needed help with. It's really amazing. The family atmosphere that has been built with this company is really something that you don't see in anything else that I've been a part of. Can you just quick describe a little bit about the family, about how everything kind of works here?
Yeah, absolutely. We really. I don't know if we even did it on purpose. It just kind of evolved that way. Of that, instead of saying welcome, a new team member or welcome a new affiliate, our language is welcome a new family member, and everybody is really. And I believe it's just the term you recruit who you are. We were able to really go out and find a lot of people that do care, that do have big hearts, that do share the same mission as us, of helping people with this training. So, and I think that's why people are having so much success. One of my favorite analogies out there, that, if I walked over to Brenda right now and grabbed her by the shoulder and tried to pull her off the chair, it would probably be pretty easy for me to pull her down. But if the light went out and now I had to pick her up and hold her on my shoulders to get her to change a light bulb, it's a lot easier or harder to lift somebody up. It might take maybe even two people to to lift her up, to be steady enough to change the light bulb. So, you know, you guys have to understand is that misery loves company. So what most people do is they surround themselves with negative people that are skeptical, that don't want things better for their lives. And that's why sorting is so important, because as soon as you try to reach up, people just like to grab and go, hey, wait a second, come down here with us. You know, so when you're surrounded by a team of people that are enthusiastic, they're excited, they're motivated, and everybody's trying to lift you up as a family and a team, you know, nothing can stop you. It's amazing what you can accomplish in life when you have a group of people that are lifting you up. And we continue every day to provide that environment with our company and all of our family members. I think it's unique because we've had a lot of people that join simply on the fact where we just said, hey, you know, here's a new family member, Brenda. She signed up free and was going to check out the training. And all of a sudden they get like 40, 50 likes and like 30 comments. Hey, welcome to the family. Let me know what we can do to help. And it's like I had a lady the other day and she goes, you realize I've never had 30 comments on anything I've ever posted on Facebook? And I had 30 people welcome me to the family and congratulate me and offer my help and send a friend's request. Listen, I don't know what we're doing over here or how I make money yet, but I'm definitely joining as a pro because I just like the way you guys make me feel and I want to be a part of this. I mean, she didn't even really understand the products or the comp plan. She just joined because she felt good when she came over here.
For sure. I have witnessed that myself, so that's awesome. But I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time and doing the interview with me today. I really appreciate it, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate the company and you and your dad and all the help I'm getting from Jeremy and everybody. It's really been an awesome thing so far for me, and I can't wait to see what the rest of this year is gonna do for us. So I just want to say thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you, Brenda. And like I said at the very beginning of this, if you guys are watching her interview, she is just an amazing, amazing person. You can tell that she really loves helping people and everybody that she works with. And she's also, you know, an incredible leader over here. She's working directly with me and Jeremy and also my father. So if you're looking for an opportunity that you can generally help people and learn how to become successful, Brenda's your girl. She can get you plugged into everything that we're doing and show you the steps to get started, and just know that she's working directly with us. So if I was going to re-sign up underneath anybody, Brenda would be one of my top choices. So thank you so much. It was an honor to do this interview with you, Brenda.
Thank you, Robert. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys. God bless, and have a wonderful and blessed day. Hopefully we'll get to talk to everybody out there soon.